Welcome back, boys and girls. I hope you guys are having a fantastic week. And I hope you guys enjoyed our lesson from last week of passing a soccer ball. And for those of y'all who don't remember who I am, I'm Miss Graham, and I'm going to be taking you guys through your lesson for this week. So what you will need for this lesson is that you will need a soccer ball, or same as last week, just as long as you have anything that rolls when kicked will work. You need an open space. So some places that you guys can do this activity is outside, if you have a garage and a room with little furniture, because you don't want to accidentally kick something or knock something over. You will need some cones or cups or just anything that can mark a pathway will work, as well as supportive shoes and loose movable clothing, because you're going to be moving around. We want to protect our feet, and we want to be very mobile for our activities. And then you will also need a timer. And same as always, we're just going to start with a quick activity that's going to get our heart rates up that Mr. Kroll will present to you guys.
You guys can get in your poly spots and let's get moving. Let's do some running in place. Here we go. It's kind of cold out here, but that's okay because we're going to get some cardio in, guys. Just do this for about 20 more seconds. You guys are doing great. Breaking a sweat yet? I know I am. Oh, this is some high knees. Make it harder. Oh, yeah. Maybe put our hands behind our back. Make it a little bit more harder. Good job, guys. Keep it going. Let's slow it down. All right, you guys did great. Thank you very much.
Okay, so I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to get a nice open space, and then we'll get started with starting the instant activity. Okay, you guys are ready. I'm going to start the timer, and the first thing that I want you guys to do is just start running in place with engaging our hands. You may begin. Okay, you guys have about 30 more seconds. So this time I want you guys to try to increase our speed and get our heart rates up. Alrighty, awesome job, guys. So we're actually going to repeat that again. I'm going to give you guys about a couple more seconds to catch your breath. But this time, I want you to put your hands behind your back, okay? And try to increase your speed as the timer keeps or goes on. Okay, are we ready to start again? Okay. You may begin. Okay, last 30 seconds. Really try to increase your speed, get your heart rate up, so we will be ready for the rest of our lesson. awesome job. So just as a quick review from last week, doing cardiorespiratory warm-ups is super beneficial because not only does it get our bodies warmed up and ready to move, it works our heart muscles. And having a healthy heart muscle can lead to a longer life and just a better quality of living. So then, what we are working on today is our foot dribbling skills. And more specifically, our main focus is going to be dribbling a soccer ball or a ball in a variety of different pathways. And then while doing this, we're going to try to increase our speed while maintaining good control of the ball. So it's one thing if we increase our speed, but the ball is going all over the place and it's not in your control. But we're going to make sure that we are increasing our speed while maintaining control. But before we do that, we're just going to do another health-related fitness activity. And this one is going to be a focus on dynamic stretching. And there's two different types of stretching. There's dynamic stretching and static stretching. Most of the time, lots of people skip dynamic stretching and they go right into static stretching, which is not super beneficial. And for those of you guys who don't know the difference between the two, is static stretching is your very typical standard holds without any movement. So it's like holding your arm across your chest or a quad pull, which there's nothing wrong with these stretches, but we need to make sure that we do dynamic stretching before that. So Miss Levy is going to take you through 3 dynamic stretches that we will do prior to starting our lesson.
Hey class, Miss Levy here with our instant health activity. We're going to start with some nice stretching. I have 3 basic stretches for us to do today, and we're going to do them before we head on to our lesson. All right, so first off, we are going to be doing monster walks, or some people call them Frankensteins. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put up both my arms like I'm the monster from Frankenstein, and then we're going to start with my right foot this time. I'm going to take my right foot, bring it up to my left foot, and then take another step, bring my left foot up to my right hand, just like that. So all together, fast, it should look something like this. All right, so we're going to do that a couple times, and then we're going to move on to our next stretch, which is lunge with a twist. So first, make sure you're very well balanced. We're going to take a step, alternating legs. I'll start with my right again, just to keep it simple. I'm going to step, lunge, and twist. Then I'm going to switch. Step, lunge, and twist. Step, lunge, and twist. So when it's together, just a step, lunge, twist. Step, lunge, twist. Okay. For our last stretch, before we start this activity, we are going to be doing some chest huggers. So these are really simple, nice way to stretch out your shoulders, back, upper arms. I want you to simply just reach out like you're going to give a big hug, just like that. And then bring it in, hold 10 seconds, we'll say. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then again, and do the same thing, switching around which arm's on top and whatnot, and bring it back. One more big stretch. Whew. Give yourself a big hug. And that's going to be our health activity for today, guys. Let's do this. Hey class, Miss Lee.
Okay, so now we will be starting our dynamic stretching. So we're going to do each exercise twice for 30 seconds, but we're going to do one zombie walk for 30 seconds, lunge into a twist for 30 seconds, chest hugs for 30 seconds, and then we're going to repeat, starting with our zombie walks again. So when I start the timer, we're going to go right into our zombie walks. And if you forget, as always, we have GIFs here that you can always just refer to if you forget what each movement looks like. So when I start the timer, we will start with zombie walks. Okay, you may begin. Okay, awesome. So now we are going to go into our lunges into a twist. Give you guys a couple more seconds of rest. And you may begin. Good job. And then our last one of the first rotation is our chest hugs. Okay, are we ready? Go ahead. Awesome job. Now we're gonna go through those 3 stretches just one more time, starting with our zombie walks. Okay, ready? Go. Okay, and now we're gonna do our lunges into a twist. This one's the hard one, in my opinion, but I think you guys are gonna have awesome time doing them, and I hope you're enjoying stretching. Awesome job, guys. And we have one more. This one's super nice to end with because it will let your heart rate come down. Probably the most relaxing one. So we got chest hugs for the last time. You may begin. Awesome. And that wraps up our health-related fitness activity. So just as a review, the reason why stretching, especially dynamic stretching, is super important before we do activities such as soccer is because it works on our flexibility. And being flexible is what allows us to move, especially in our lower bodies, because we do a lot of quick kicking and lots of movement with our lower body. And partaking in stretching can help us become more mobile in that area. And then also flexibility reduces our risk of injuries, and injuries are something that can happen when we're playing sports. And we want to reduce that risk. So stretching is something that can help reduce that risk. Okay, and now we are going to start our first activity. And Mr. Syok is going to explain what we're going to do.
All right, class, my name is Mr. Syok, and I am going to be teaching you guys how to dribble a ball with using both of your feet for the first activity today. First off, how are you guys all doing today? Hope you're all doing well. Good, I'm glad. And so today, our cues for the ball, or any type of object that is round and will roll, is you're going to use the inside of your foot or the outside of the foot, whatever is more comfortable for you. And you will want to keep the ball out in front of you about within the fingertips length of space. So you don't want it to get too far in front of you, because then you won't be able to maintain control. So here I'm going to show you just dribbling with the inside of your feet, and here we go. So when you're using dribbling in soccer, you can use both inside and out of your feet. It all really depends on what you're most comfortable with and what you believe you will maintain the most control with. So in some situations, it'll be better to use inside your feet. In some situations, it won't. So here we go. We're going to use both feet using the inside and out. All right. We're going to do it one more time. And then when you're done, you want to stop the ball. You're going to put your foot on top of the ball to stop it from rolling. When I say go, it's your turn. And
Okay, so before we start our activity, I'm going to give you guys about 30 seconds to go ahead and get about 2 cones and spread them about 20 or 10 to 20 feet apart. And if I start explaining the activity before you have that done, then you are more than welcome just to pause the video so you can get it set up. Okay, so basically just to reiterate what Mr. Syok is having us do for activity 1. So we're going to be just basic dribbling in a straight pathway. So where you have the 2 cones, you're going to start at 1 cone and dribble to the other cone in a straight pathway. And for this first minute, I want you guys to focus on just using the inside of your feet. And unlike passing, we have to use both of our feet. It's not something that you can just use your non-dominant foot. You have to use both of them. So for the first minute, we're just going to focus on dribbling in a straight line at a normal speed. So you may go put your ball down at the first cone, and when I start the timer, you may begin. Go ahead. place, go ahead and stop. And like Mr. Sayok did in the video, go ahead and place one foot on top of the ball and pick it up so it's not rolling all over the place while I explain what we're going to do next. So I want you guys to do a quick self-assessment, and if you found that super easy, then you can increase your distance between the cones, but make sure that you were maintaining control of the ball. So you could have found it easy, but if the ball was going all over the place, then still keep it the same distance. And if you found that quite difficult and you were losing control of the ball, go ahead and move those two cones a little bit closer and focus on maintaining control for a shorter distance. So you may go ahead and put the ball down. And when I start the timer again, we're going to do that for another minute. Okay. Go ahead. Okay, awesome job. We're gonna do this actually for 30 more seconds. And the one thing I want you guys to focus on this last time is keeping our eyes up. Because if we're playing with other people in full games, you have to be able to look with eyes up and to see where your classmates are so you don't run into them. So we're gonna do this for 30 more seconds. Go ahead. Awesome job, guys. So now we're going to move on to activity 2, but you're always welcome to repeat this activity again, or if you don't feel comfortable moving on quite yet and you still want more practice dribbling in a straight line, you can repeat that and just pause the video. But now we're going to move on to activity 2. So Mr. Hroos is going to explain activity 2.
Hi students, I'm Mr. Hroos again, and I'm going to be teaching you a dribbling activity. This is going to go off of activity 1, where we're dribbling in a straight line, so we're going to be dribbling in a zigzag pattern. As you can see, I have a soccer ball or a volleyball, whatever kind of ball you have, you can feel free to use that. I'm going to show you how to set this up, and we're going to get rolling. So I have some cones, because I play soccer. But if you have just some solo cups or really any markers to set up the zigzag cones, feel free. So I'm going to set mine up probably about 5 yards apart from each other, and we're going to get going. So this activity is going to be in a zigzag pattern, like I explained. We're going to be dribbling through the cones using the insides and the outsides of our feet. And to make it more difficult, I'm going to have us, we're going to be using either just our right foot or just our left foot as we go through, or we're going to be using just the inside of our foot, which for a reminder is this part of your foot, or the outside of your foot, which is this part of your foot. I'm going to get rid of my excessive cones, and we're going to get going. See, right now I'm using the inside of my foot going this way with my right foot. When I get to the cone, I'm cutting with the inside of my left foot to the next one. Get to this side, right foot, cone, into the cone, left foot. And on the way back, I'm going to demonstrate it using just the outside of my feet. So to make it easier, when you're going to the left, use the outside of your left foot. And when you get to this cone, we're going to use the outside of your right foot. And bring it back. Left foot. Right foot. Left foot. And back to the start. Now, like I said, if you want to make it more difficult, that was pretty easy for you. Try going one direction, just using one leg, and coming back with the other leg. So I'm going to go down using my right leg, and I'm going to come back using my left. It's going to look like this. So I'm going to go inside, inside, outside, 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 inside, inside. Try to use the inside when you're going the opposite direction, and the outside going with it. Inside, inside, and back, the same thing, but with my left foot. So I'm going left, I'm going to use the outside of my left foot. I'm going right, the inside of my left foot. You're going to do this all the way. Inside, outside, outside. For this activity, Mr. Cruz used 6 cones, but if you want to make it further, I just had to make it that short because my backyard isn't the biggest. But if you go to a field nearby, you have a lot of open space, feel free to add extras. By the end of it, we're going to try to make it from the first cone to the last cone, about 20 yards apart. So we're feeling really confident with our zigzags, and I hope you guys enjoy.
Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys about 30 seconds to set up something similar as shown in the video, but as I said before, you're always welcome to pause this video and set up your cones. So when I start the timer, I want you guys to put your ball down at your first cone. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to practice dribbling in a zigzag pattern using both of our feet, the inside and the outside, but both of our feet for the distance that we set up. So you may put your ball down and begin when I start the timer. Oh. Now you may begin. Awesome job, guys. Go ahead and stop your ball and pick it up. So we're actually going to repeat the same thing of using both of our feet for about 30 more seconds. And I want you guys to keep in mind that we are just gently pushing the ball. We're not kicking it with all of our force, because just gentle pushes is what helps us maintain control. So we're going to do dribbling with both feet in a zigzag pathway for 30 more seconds. Keep messing up here. Okay, 30 more seconds. Awesome job, guys. And for the last minute, as explained in the video, I want you to pick 1 foot, or you can do 30 seconds, 1 foot, or your right foot, and then 30 seconds with your left foot. And we're going to practice dribbling in a zigzag pathway using the inside and outside of our foot for about 1 more minute. Okay, you may put your ball down and begin. Awesome job, guys. Go ahead and pick up your soccer ball, and we will now explain our last activity of the day. Mr. Kroll again is going to explain the third activity.
Hi guys, Mr. Cole here, back with another video. We're going to start off with doing some dribbling today with the soccer ball or any ball that's perfect to use. We're going to start by dribbling in a straight line. So here we go. Straight line, like this. It's cold out here, guys. That's okay. Back. Guys, you guys are doing great. Try to keep your head up the best as you can. If you're in a game-like situation, you got to look out a little bit. One more time. Uno. Back. Guys, cold. I'm cold. All right. Now, guys, we'll make it a little bit harder. Hey, guys, Mr. Crow here, back at it again with part 2. We're going to make it a little bit harder this time. We don't have cones. We do have trees. These trees are going to be like defenders. So these are our cones for today. So this is going to make it a little bit harder. So here we go. Go ahead and dribble. Like a zigzag around these cones, right? Come back. Same thing on this side. I think it's a little bit easier, guys. Surely not. That's great. Oh, that's not good. One more time. Zigzag. Boom.
Okay, guys, we're going to go ahead and get started. So basically what we're going to be doing is that you're more than welcome to set up cones, but you don't have to. So what you're going to do is you're going to alternate between dribbling a soccer ball with in a straight pathway and then switching into a zigzag pathway. We're just going to do that for a minute. So a good way to do this is set up 2 cones about a couple yards apart, and when you get to the halfway point you switch. So if you're dribbling in a zigzag pathway, when you get to that middle marker you can switch to a straight pathway. So that's the first thing that I want you guys to do, just for 1 minute. Awesome job, guys. You guys are doing great. We're almost done with today's lesson. Okay. Awesome job. So we have one more thing that I want you guys to do. So I want you guys to grab a timer. Can use one on a phone, a stopwatch. And for 30 seconds, I want you guys to time yourself how long it takes you to dribble in both pathways, so straight and zigzag, for the set distance that you made for your cones. We're going to do that for 30 seconds. Okay, you may begin. And each round, if you have the timer in your sight, I want you guys to increase your speed. Okay, awesome job. We're going to do that for 30 more seconds. This time I want you guys to be a little bit more aware of how fast it's taking you and trying to increase your speed without losing control of the ball, which is the most important part. So we got 30 more seconds. This is the last thing that we're doing today, so I want you guys to give it your all. You guys can go ahead and stop, pick up your ball, and I'm going to say some final words. So just a review of our lesson. So we learned how to dribble in different pathways. We also introduced increasing our speed. So we do have a quick assessment for you guys to do that reviews the past or the concepts that we've done in the past 2 lessons, and you guys can go ahead and scan that QR code. But if you can't scan it, I will have a link in the description box that you guys can click on. And some just things I want you guys to remember is if you remember the cues for dribbling and passing, those things are very important. And then another thing is I want you guys to think about why is it important to increase your dribble speed. And the main thing is just how does that apply in a game setting? And then the last thing is how does dynamic stretching impact sport or more specifically soccer performance? So those were the 3 things I want you guys to think about as well. And then for our next class, we will be working on our goal shooting skills. And just if you want to prepare the main things that you will need is a ball and then a goal. If you don't have access to a soccer ball, a goal, that's not an issue at all. A laundry basket, a suitcase, or anything along the lines of that can also be used. So I hope you guys enjoyed our lesson and have a fantastic week.